everyone, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is Magic Over Mayhem, which I haven't done in a long time, and I have to make a new thumbnail because of this new phone. But anyway, or maybe this is an astral travel. Never mind, this is an astral travel. Either or, whatever, I don't care. Last night, the past 2 nights, I've had altercations in the astral realms with my mother and my sister, who I am not in relationship with. We're in no contact. Thank God. And I've never really experienced what I've been experiencing the past couple nights, and I wanted to talk about it because to me it's new, but I feel like I was just watching a reading by one of my favorite readers, and it kind of put these things together. So I wanted to put this here for anyone else who's going through healing or lucid dreaming or astral traveling, or kind of working with your higher self in different realms in times of rest. I know that sounds crazy. If you think that sounds crazy, hi, this is not the channel for you. Not at this point. There's other materials here, but this is probably not the video. So in the past, my family has ostracized me, and they've never let what happened back in 2009 go. They've always held it over my head. I went on to finish my bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree. I birthed my child at home. None of those things matter. They only see me as what I was at one point in time, when they had control over me and when I lost my shit. I crashed the fuck out. I'm a retired crash out. And anyway, go watch some of the story times if you want to know more. But what's been happening the past 2 nights is that I have been forced to look at them head on. And I'm wondering if it's because I put my obsidian in my car for our traveling, if that's the reason that this energy is able to get in, because I'm just not sure. I'm not sure why this energy is coming, but what I am going to do is transmute it. What I am going to do is be positive about why I'm having this experience. Also, I'm drinking beer, so that could be it too. It could just be the lower vibration. I could be just lowering my vibration. So today I've already decided that I'm not having any beer and some other things to avoid these things happening in the astral. Also have to bring my obsidian in from the car. Anyway, so the first night, what was it? Saturday night? Was that Saturday night? I think so. I had a dream that I was in the back seat of a car, and my sister was in the passenger seat, and my mother was in the driver's seat, and I clawed their faces. Which, if you know me, that's not really who I am. I mean, I have a bitch stick. I have a fighting side of me. But who I am is not, I'm not an altercation kind of person, unless I need to be. And if I need to be, it's going to be against those two. So whatever, it is what it is. But I think what's happening is that I'm getting triggered somehow. And again, I'm still trying to figure out what's causing this. I feel like the alcohol is probably a big deal because of this. But, bless you. Last night, my mother set me up. And she did this whole big setup of making everyone believe things about me that are not true. Which, again, if you know me, that's been the consensus of my mother. Like I said, prefaced this with, my family has always looked at me like a mental patient since I was a mental patient. They're classist. Ableist, among other things. And like I said, I've more than proved myself from that situation that happened a very long time ago. But last night there was this whole intricate setup. And once again, I was face to face with my mother. And I clawed at her. I guess that's my go-to. Like, legit like clawing, pinching her face. And what this reader just said is that you want to understand your darkness and you hit it head on. And I do. And I feel like what these astral travels or what these dreams are bringing up for me is a lot. And I thought it was healed. Yesterday was my sister's birthday, so I think that has something to do with it. They're probably together. I don't fucking know. They like to celebrate Mother's Day together and leave me out, even though I'm a single mom. And my sister's been a mother for like forever. She was a stepmom for a long time, like over 20 years. This woman's been in the mothering field. And so they like to, celebrate together and leave me out, whatever. But I feel like, I don't want to be involved anyway. I think that's the main thing I want to make clear is that I have no desire to be in relationship with either one of these people. In fact, I wish I could just never ever experience them ever again in my life, which is why I don't like these dreams coming through. But last night in this astral travel, I think one of my biggest triggers is, especially as a mother, is having to repeat myself, is not being heard, because I've never been taken seriously by the people in my life that should have listened to me. And it's very ironic that I have a nonverbal child, and I think about this dynamic a lot in regards to ancestral trauma, ancestral lineage healing, breaking cycles and such. Because if I have to repeat myself, I lose respect for whoever I'm talking to immediately. Because I mean what I say the first time I fucking say it. And I have been overlooked. I've been misunderstood on purpose. I've been, my words have been twisted, and people have just been hell-bent on misunderstanding me, right? I don't know. I feel like this is probably a pretty common neurodivergent experience. But last night in this dream, my mother was there were like, I'm thinking of a pentagram, and not because of witchcraft, but because there was a layout in this space that we were in. We were in a house, and there was a layout of people like pinned up strategically so that everywhere I turned there was someone against me. Very calculated. And then she was there, and I spoke to her, and it had to do with Niall. And my mother, the last time I did see her, before I went no contact about a year ago, she did say something fucked up about Niall, and my plans for him if something were to ever happen to me. But it wasn't in like a concerned way. It was in a strategic, let me get this information so that I can take it back to, report back and figure something out, right? Which this wasn't the only thing she said the last time. There's a lot of reasons I stopped talking to this woman. I do not trust her. There's always been this motivation to disappear me again within the system, and it's because of her narrative. It's because of her narrative around me. She's the victim in the situation according to who she talks to. A lot of boomer parents do not have contact with us millennial children because we're like, fuck you, you're fucking crazy, you don't grow, you're immature, you fucking suck. A lot of us do not talk to our parents for these reasons, myself included, with a lot more than other people have probably gone through. Ways that my mother has tried to sabotage me. Tried. It's like the asterisk. Anyway, and so I approached her in this dream, and I was like, I said to her, like, you're not gonna do something, and the smile, the smirk, it was a smirk, the this demonic smirk in this dream that this woman smiled at me let me know that she is in fact attached to something much darker. And that's what I thought, because the last time she came here, we were drinking water bottles and we switched over to like a pure water filtration system pitcher thing. But one of the things that I said to her, in addition to these other things that she said about Niall and stuff, Niall's my son if you're new here, I was drinking water bottles and then I'd like leave them on my nightstand like half, filled or whatever. So I would have like a whole, it wasn't something that I would be like, every day take the water bottle. It would get to a point where I'd like have no more room on my nightstand and I'd have to take all the water bottles and they were like half full. And she said, "Oh, that's a mental illness, isn't it?" But the way she said it while she was here, I was like, that wasn't you. That was you. That was something else convincing you that like I'm ill. And like, hi, it's not that big of a deal to keep a couple water bottles, I mean, couple to like 15. But either way, it's not like a deciding factor within the DSM, you know what I mean? Which, if you'd like to go in depth with that, check out some of my stuff. I have my master's in that. So when she said that, it was like the quiet part out loud. It was, oh, this is never going to stop. They're never going to let me be free within their lives. Like they're always going to scapegoat me. They being my mom and my sister and my mother's sisters. My aunts on my mom's side. I fucking hate them all. Anyway, they're witches. I know it. And I know that they're either intentionally, so like evil eye can come through in a lot of ways. It can be intentional, or it can just be because of jealousy or envy or, unhealed relationship issues, whatever. It can come through in a lot of ways. But the thing about it is that I'm a transmuter. I'm an alchemist. I can change energy. All energy is energy. And I know this. And I also have a very large spirit team that I work with. But this dream last night was, like, I have no desire to ever be face to face with this woman again. Because if I did, I would probably, because of this dream, I would more than likely not be able to just use my voice. I'm going to keep it so fucking for real with you. And I think that's part of this grieving process as well, because as you grieve people who you are in no contact with, or who you've let go of your life, for a lot of reasons, whatever the reason may be. Sorry, Hoodie's next to me and he's moving the table. As you grieve people who are still alive, it's an interesting thing. But I know for a fact if I were to be face to face to that woman, I wouldn't be talking. And I didn't in my dream, and it felt really good to, I don't know. But then it was like this lucidness to this situation last night. Because after the situation with me like clawing her face and then one of the people like taking Niall away and then them like, arresting me for violence and whatnot. And I want you to understand what reactive abuse is. And reactive abuse is something that my family and my marriage pushed me to. And again, that's why my trigger is, if I have to repeat myself, I don't want a relationship with you. I meant what I said the first time I said it. If you didn't hear me, then you didn't want to hear me. I'm not gonna, continue repeating myself or getting pushed to a point of that reactive abuse. I will make these in 2 seconds. We want pancakes. So I just wanted to put this here and share it. I feel like if you are experiencing lucid dreaming or astral travels or any dreams with some sort of symbology, like for me I was revisiting all of those feelings of being incarcerated, of being in trouble. And I'm not doing anything wrong in my life. I mean, there are a lot of new laws getting passed and I speak my truth. But other than that, You know, I'm not a heinous person. I don't do shit to hurt others and whatnot, which, again, the current law and order system could care less about that, right? They are all about control and order, and supremacy. But I feel like I was faced with that to get over it and to be like, no, I'm not doing that ever again. I'm never going to allow someone to take my eye is twitching. I'm not going to ever allow anyone to have that kind of control over me ever again. And feeling all of those things while sleeping, and then this part got very lucid, because then I was like going through my inventory as I was asleep, being like, why am I seeing this? And I'm still sleeping, and I'm like, why am I in this situation right now? And that's when I was like, the beer, the dream last night, the traveling, the obsidian, right? Like, I was going through this, I'm still sleeping, but I was like consciously going through this list, or subconsciously, I guess, going through this list of things of why I was experiencing this astral travel at the time. And so I wanted to get on here and let you know, if and when you are in the process of doing shadow work, when triggers come up, whether you are conscious of them or unconsciously, allow the triggers to again serve as a space of non-judgment and curiosity, so you can heal yourself. And I think from this dream, I know that I will never talk to my mother again. I'm never going to see her in the physical again while she's still alive. And I'm fine with that. I know that probably sounds harsh, but I will never be able to forgive the things that she's done. And like I said, there's an entity attached to her. Like what I shared with the water bottles. Like, that was so weird. The comment that she made. Her inability to relate to me is something that I wouldn't wish on an enemy. I would never wish on anyone to have them feel the way that I've felt in my mother's presence. Fuck you. Like, I hate this woman. I really do. I don't like her. And I wish she would respect my no contact, but she keeps sending me stupid shit that I throw away. And I'm like, why do you keep wasting your money? You should probably stop doing that. But yeah, like, she sent me a cashmere scarf from Italy. I live in Arizona, so the amount of times that I will wear a cashmere scarf are slim to none. It was $38. She did white out the tag. I can show you, but I really like long scarves. I like to do infinity scarves, and so this scarf is about this long, which isn't something I would wear. It's ugly, but it's cashmere. So, it's rich people doing things that make them feel better about themselves for, being a douche, right? Cutting me off $5,000 worth of the money that she wanted to share with me, and then sending me, $50 worth of things from Italy. And being like, I went to Italy. And I'm like, cool, I don't talk to you, I don't care, I don't want to know about it. I would love to go to Italy. You know that. Fuck you. Remember that some people just fucking suck. And whatever comes through your dreams are more than likely messages or confirmation or a revisitation of things that you have yet to really fully heal from. And that's where I'm at right now with today. And I just wanted to put this here because I don't want to carry this shit anymore. I want this to be over. And having to look at her in the face last night in this dream, and me like clawing at her and pinching her and taking out all of this 2 nights in a row. I've done that. I've clawed at them and gone after their faces. That's interesting. So anyway, The veil to the other realms are very thin. If you are in spiritual warfare or psychological warfare within your own lineage, like what I'm describing, tap into the ancestors, connect with the ancestors that you do trust in your lineage, whether they are on this realm. I would probably stay in the other realms. And trust in whatever you believe in, right? God wise. Yes, I will come make you pancakes in one moment. To ensure your protection, utilize things from the earth. I actually received a gift. I'm not a bone collector, like that movie with Denzel Washington. But yesterday I found a tailbone from a cat in the lot next door, and I brought it inside because to me it was definitely an offering, and I feel like it was Blackie's tailbone. And if you don't know about Blackie, he passed away a few months ago out there. But yeah, so that kind of started some new avenues for me. But either way, the spiritual realm is full of entities. It's full of demons. It's full of energy that will either trigger you or set you into past cycles. So that's what I felt like. I felt like last night I was being taunted. And that's why I'm not drinking beer tonight, because I gotta uplift my vibration. That was my main takeaway. But you can't let that have power over you, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. And I know this is probably very abstract and probably very scary to hear, and probably you think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I just have a much deeper understanding of these things because I've been in spiritual warfare within my lineage for decades. And last night I feel like was the final straw. My spirit guides, my father told me to cut the cords a long time ago. And so if you're here watching this, I need you to leave me alone. And if you don't leave me alone, I will take action against you. Because I'm here to do things that you are not, and I need to do those things. And that's what I told you when we went no contact. So, and I told you to stop watching my channel. You have no business being over here. I don't like you. And it's not my responsibility to heal you. You should have done that before you had kids. Have a good one.